Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Agajanana Padmarkam Gajananam Aharnisham Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe. Welcome to all for this session on Ganesha Purana to chapter 66, in which in the previous chapter we were hearing the speciality of the Durva grass when a demonic fire was created because of the Yama spilt out semen on the ground. So that demonic fire could not be put off by anybody. At that time, assuring to all the gods and sages, Vinayaka appeared in the form of a small child, and he took a mighty form and consumed the demonic fire. But then that fire, there was a fear that if that fire enters to the belly of Ganesha, it could burn the triple world. So all the gods and sages were trying everything to put off that fire consumed by Gajanana. Indra offered him the moon, and then Brahma offered him his two maidens Siddhi and Buddhi. Shiva offered him a serpent to be bound around his neck. Vishnu offered him the lotus. Varuna sprinkled the cold water on him, but nothing could able to put off the fire. And then all the sages with a great devotion they offered 21 blades of grass and put that on the head of Gajanana, that immediately put off the fire. With that the pleased Gajanana declared in the assembly of God, saying that offering the Durva grass is the most important for him compared to even performing any kind of a vrata or any kind of yajna or even donations. So this story was told by Narada to Indra, as Kaundinya was telling this story to his wife Ashraya. Once, O lady, the sage Narada came to see Gajanana, who was comfortably seated. After bowing prostrate to him for many days, he said to him, "My birth has become significant, O Gajanana, because I have seen you due to my accumulation of merit." After he had said this, his hands folded in supplication, the sage stood before him, and the illustrious Gajanana, taking his hands in his own hand, summoned that great and illustrious sage to a seat. Narada, the illustrious bull of sages, was very pleased with that, and he said to Ganadhisha, "I have come to tell you about something extraordinary in my mind. I will bow and approach you." Gajanana told to him, "What is this astonishing thing you have seen? What is it that is in your mind? Tell me everything in detail and then return to your own hermitage." For that the Narada replied, "In the region of Mithila is an excellent king called Janaka. O God, he is proud, generous, a master of Vedas and their auxiliaries, and he is disposed to giving gifts to God. He always honors the Brahmins with clothes and ornaments of various kinds and with many honorariums. In addition, he gives great wealth to the miserable and the blind and the needy, and gives beggars everything they request. Even so, the great man's wealth is not exhausted. Wondering if that wealth increases because of Ganesha's satisfaction, I went to his house in order to see that astonishing thing. But arrogant Janaka, because of his knowledge of Brahma, he began laughing, and I told to him, 'You are wealthy, O excellent king, and because of your deep devotion to Gajanana offers you, because of your deep devotion, Gajanana would offer you whatever you think of.' But that Janaka arrogantly said this, I am the Lord in the triple world, and I give, I consume, I protect, and I cause others to give, and besides my own person, nothing else exists. Besides my own person, nothing else exists in the triple world. I am the creator, the cause, and the act of making. O excellent sage, Narada continued, after I had heard his speech, I said to him in anger, there is absolutely no other creator of the world than the Lord. But faultless king, why are you fraudulently laying down this ordinance? I will shortly expose it. After I had said this to him, I came here to you, Ibhanana, another name of Gajanana. Kaundinya continued to tell the story. After he had heard the sage speech, the Lord honored him with valuable things such as celestial ornaments, flowers, and sandalwood perfume. And straight after receiving permission, the sage then went to Vishnu in Vaikuntha. Even though he was omniscient, Gajanana too assumed an execrable appearance, went to Mithila to investigate the king's devotion. He became filled with wounds, and as if he was sick, oozing blood, inauspicious, attacked by swarms of flies and toothless. When they saw him coming in this condition, some men made a cloth covering over their nose, while others spat at him repeatedly, faltering, fainting, falling, yet moving again. He reached the king's door, accompanied by swarms of small boys, and said to the doorkeepers, O messengers, inform the king that I have arrived, a Brahmin guest who is very hungry and expects whatever food he demands. When they had gone to King Janaka, they relate that very speech of his, and in order to see his curiosity, he said to his messengers, bring him inside. But concerning this old Brahmin who was oozing blood and perspiring from fatigue, the king wondered, could it be the Lord who has taken this appearance? As he has come to deceive me, where there might be merit in it for me. So I will concentrate my mind on him, and what is it to be will come true. At the very moment the excellent King Janaka was thinking this, the Brahmin was ushered in by the doorkeepers and became visible. The Brahmin said that it was originally Gajanana, took the form of a sick Brahmin, and he came in front of Janaka and he started telling, after hearing of your fame that is as dazzling as a moonbeam, I have come to you. Give me some food, O king, as I have been hungry for a long time. Give me food for as long as I crave it, and you will accrue the merit of 100 sacrifices, O Lord of men. Kaundinya continued the story. After Janaka had heard this speech, he brought him into his house, and after he had honored him as prescribed, he ordered some delicacies, as much as would sufficient. A myriad of people was placed there. But the excellent Brahmin swallowed the lot in one gulp. High quality rice was put on countless plates, and when prepared as a porridge, it was placed before him. At whatever was placed in front of him, he ate it in an instant. Then the people said to the king, he eats everything, he might be a demon. If no merit at all is gained from giving gifts to a demon, why has he been eating so much? The others said, he may not be entirely full even when the triple world is eaten. O king, give him the grain. Then, having brought all the grain stored in the ground and in the houses, as well as everything that was in the city and village, they sent it to that man who certainly looked like a Brahmin, yet was a guest eating everything. But when this was eaten, he had still not had enough. Then the messengers said to the king, no grain can be found anywhere. Yet, even as Janaka stood downcast after hearing his messenger's statement, the insatiable Brahmin, having offered his greetings at each house, said, give me some food. So, since Janaka was left with no grain in his entire country, at that time the Brahmin told him that I am still not satisfied, and he got up from that place and he went to every house and started begging for the food. The people then said to him, the king has taken all the grain in our houses, and you have eaten it all, O Brahmin. Your appetite must be exhausted by that, because the king Janaka has collected the grain that is existing in every house, every village in his country, and offered it to Gajanana in the form of that sick Brahmin, and he ate up everything, and there was no food left in the country. Then the Brahmin told them, in the world there is no provider of food superior to Janaka. His fame is celebrated as I came wishing to be filled up. How can I live without being full? These people having become silent, he wandered away and saw the nice house of two Brahmins named Virochana and Trishira, a house containing no useful articles nor any basic kitchen utensils. He entered there as though he is in reality was a lord of the house. Thus ends the 66th chapter of Upasana Khanda of the glorious Ganesha Purana, in which we have heard the story of Janaka from Narada. Janaka being well known across the triple world as a giver of everything to the people, but still his wealth is not exhausted. But then when Narada approached Janaka and told him it was all because of the grace of Gajanana, Janaka, having the knowledge of Parabrahma, declared in front of Narada that he is the creator, he is the destroyer, he is the savior of all, and there is nobody other than that. Where Janaka was actually referring to Parabrahma, that everything is taken care of by the Parabrahma, and Gajanana is a visible form of the same Parabrahma. And Janaka told about this to Narada, and Narada informed the same thing to Gajanana. Now Gajanana went to the court of Janaka in the form of a sick Brahmin with the blood oozing out from his body, having a highly deformed body. He went to the doorstep of Janaka and begged for the food. Janaka, with all respect, took him inside and offered him everything that he is having. And even after eating all the grain in the country, that Gajanana in the form of Brahmin was still not satisfied. He went out begging the people for the food. And at that point of a time, nobody was having given a single piece of grain to offer. And finally, Gajanana walked into the house of two Brahmins named Virochana and Trishiras, as though he is the owner of their house. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.